Just got back to green flag racing with Boyer and Gordon up front, and again we're 4-5 wide.
Yeah, I got to believe we're going to see some penalties handed out there. You can't start passing before you cross the start-finish line.
Tony Stewart trying to slide up. He's right behind Boyer. Here comes Kyle Busch. He slingshots down to the low side. Further back, Regan Smith does the same thing. Busch picks up a couple of spots, gets past Casey Kane, and he's still marching. He's right on the back bumper of the 48, side by side with Mark Martin. Jeff Gordon right in front of Jimmy Johnson. There's your top 5 single file, and that's when it gets a little more interesting. Now Jimmy's going to take a look inside of Jeff. Kyle Busch is going to go with the 48, stays down on the low side.
There goes Smoke.
Battle for the lead. Can Tony Stewart take the lead for the first time today? It looks like he may get it. Look out further back. You got a bunch of blocking going on. Tony manages to get around, takes that front spot. He'll become our 11th official leader at the stripe.
+5, blue.
So it's Stewart, Boyer, Newman, Gordon, Johnson. That's your top 5. We've had 16 lead changes, 11 different leaders. And look at Ryan Newman now, side by side with Clint Boyer. A little bit further back, Mark Martin side by side with Jeff Gordon. And here comes Jimmy Johnson following his Hendrick teammate in the 5.
These drivers really searching for grip anywhere that they can right now. Just trying to get a run. We're getting down 50 laps to go now.
3/4 of the way through the race. And you can see side by side again, Jimmy Johnson along with Jeff Gordon. Casey Kane's right behind Jimmy. And now Kane's going to slide underneath, make it 3 wide coming out of 2.
And after they get finished battling this out here, they're going to see Matt Kenseth coming. He was 17th on the restart, and he has already caught this group. He's got 4 fresh tires.
And remember, from 17th on back, everybody came in. There is Kenseth as we go back up front. Clint Boyer now down on the low side, still in that 2nd position.
Yeah, Ryan Newman had passed him out of turn 2, but Clint was able to get a run back on and get back in between these teammates.
Top 4 trying to check out on 5th place, Casey Kane. Here comes Kyle Busch shooting down low, 3 wide again. Battle for the race lead. Boyer wants it back. Tony's hanging on to it. Here comes Newman. He is tucked up right underneath the 14.
Yeah, he knows where his paycheck comes from.
That's right.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson back just behind this, lost a couple of spots. He got in a bad position there down into 1.
Johnson has dropped back to 9th while all this is going on. Smoke takes 4 wheels below the line. Boyer follows. Slides back up to the top of the track. There's your side-by-side for 2nd. Here's the group behind him as they go again into turn number 1. Here comes Boyer alongside the 39. Look at how many different lines these guys are able to take. There's Kenseth as he is now getting past the 48, and that would put Kenseth all the way up into the 7th position if he can make the pass stick. But here comes Jimmy right back. Jeff Gordon also in the mix with Kevin Harvick. 4-car battle. They're all looking for 7th spot. All 4 cars in the chase. And here comes Denny Hamlin. So let's make it 5.
Saw Matt Kenseth and Jimmy Johnson almost make contact right there if they didn't.
You can see in that group Elliott Sadler, who along with Kenseth was in to get 4 tires that last time. I have to think that that's going to be a benefit as they get some more laps to run here.
Sadler, you saw him on the high side there. They come down the long backstretch. There's the top group in single file led by race leader Tony Stewart. But this is where it gets really interesting. Here comes Harvick. He wants to look underneath the 48, and Jimmy slams the door.
See Kenseth right here. He's really making this difficult for Jimmy Johnson to go around. I think this is exactly what we talked about.
Trouble. Kyle Busch. We have a caution on the track, the 7th.
Another engine.
And it is a smoke.
Motor here,
Coleman.
Motor. laps ago, something happened in the intake. I knew it was coming. There you have it.
That's
well,
a heartbreaker.
If anybody wasn't sure that the championship was over, it's certainly over now.
Kyle was about 72 points back of the race or the championship lead at the point that this happened. I disagree with him that it's over, but there's a lot of guys that are running out of toes to shoot.
We talked about how hard this track is on engines. It surely has been today. He's taken out 2 of the championship contenders.
Greg Biffle lost an engine a lot earlier in this race. He is officially or unofficially listed in 41st position.
Carl Edwards had kind of a crazy thing with the distributor. Put him down a bunch of laps.
There's a kaboom, second time today. And Joe Gibbs Racing still, even though they've dominated, winning the last 6 nationwide races here, have never won here in Sprint Cup action. And Kyle, very frustrated. All right, let's check over in the Craftsman Tech Garage with Tim Brewer.
Thanks, Marty. A lot of times after the restarts, you're going to have these problems because when the drivers go through the gears, occasionally what happens, they tag the valve right here. What happens, you got less than 100 thousandths right here between that piston and that valve. And what it does, it goes down and actually tags it. Like he said, he felt something going wrong. And if that valve was bent, the engine probably wasn't performing. And when it come back up to set down on that seat, when it doesn't set down 360 degrees all the way around, it hits at an angle, pops head off that valve, and that's the end of that engine. Guys?
It's the end of the day for the 18, and he was looking for his 5th career double. Winning the nationwide race yesterday is not going to happen today. And as we pointed out, his championship hopes are going to take a big hit. As it stands right now, he would be at least, well, right this moment, 156 points behind. So here we go. 45 laps to go. And Jamie Little, they're coming your way.
Well, Tony Stewart says he's still just a little bit loose, but that was better on the forward bite. He needs a little more side bite. So a little bit of a wedge adjustment like they've been going. 4 tires and fuel. It's been a good points day. They got to keep it up, Vince.
Clint Boyer, your leader in the middle of the screen. He said it's a little tight, some good, some bad. 3 and 4 is good, hurts him in 1 and 2. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment and a half round out of the left rear. Dave?
Mark Martin gives up 4th position. They're going to put a quarter round of wedge back in because it was a little free. But as Mark says, it's hard to beat these guys. Let's see if they can get any positions on pit road and take care of some of that. 4 tires back on the 5. Here's the race off.
As they come across the stripe, Juan Pablo Montoya takes 2 tires, picks up 18 spots. Look at the logjam coming off. The loser, Casey Kane, as he drops 5. Mears also takes 2. But with 45 laps remaining, we'll have to find out what happens. And you Jeff Gordon fans are not going to want to hear this. Too fast entering. So a penalty for Gordon. And that is going to be a blow to his championship potential. We'll find out how bad when we come back. Welcome back to the Pepsi Max 400 at California. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. And while we got a quick moment, let's talk about the calendar because NASCAR Now is coming up tonight at 10 Eastern on ESPN2. And then the finals of the Toyo Tires NHRA Nationals, 9 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. The NASCAR Nationwide Series next stop will be in Charlotte, presented by Hellman's, Friday night, 8 Eastern on ESPN2. And then on Saturday, 7:30 Eastern on ABC, our coverage starts at 7. With NASCAR Countdown, it'll be the Sprint Cup Bank of America 500, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Kevin Conway got the wave around as we now have a total of 30 cars on the lead lap. Let's quickly show the contact that was coming out of pit road.
Busy place down there. When all these cars start coming out at the same time, it's pretty wide pit road.
The 20 and the 56 right here as they start to exit at the same time. The 98's right there.
That's just not wide enough right there.
And Truex does have some damage right there on the right corner. And
Logano got it from both sides.
Here's Martin saying, thank you very little.
Oh, my.
And then he brake checked him.
Yeah, and then that sliding that left front's not
a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, Dave Blaney will get the lucky dog, and he gets back on the lead lap. Or I should not say that. He's now 2 laps down. He was 3. Let's get a quick radio of the 24 on Jeff Gordon after the speeding penalty.
I'm sorry about that, guys. I mean, I knew I was right there on the edge, but I didn't think I'd be over.
Well, Gordon, of course, going to go to the tail end of the longest line. As we get back to green flag racing, it'll be Montoya up front. Remember, he only took 2. Stewart, Newman, Boyer, Martin. Look at Jimmy going down low. Here we go, 3 wide again. Kurt Busch is going to follow Johnson.
13 of Casey Mears, another one of those cars that just took 2 tires there. Picked up a lot of spots.
Montoya with Tony Stewart all over him. They come down the backstretch. Further back, you see again 3 wide. Here we're going to go 3 wide for the lead. Boyer wants it.
Stewart wanted a little more there as he drove it down in. Here comes Ryan Newman to the middle.
Can he punch his way through there? The air is awfully dirty, especially when you get pinched also. All right, so here we go with another lead change. Our 19th between 12 different drivers. Tony Stewart back out in front. We'll get our answer pretty quickly here on what 2 tires is going to be able to do for you. Ryan Newman on the high side there. Boy, he has had some great runs lately.
Montoya's just been playing catch-up all day after hitting the wall real early in the race, so this is not a bad move for him to try to gain some spots.
Look at the logjam further back. Here we go side by side. Newman, as he finished 9th last week at Kansas, side by side with Mark Martin.
I swear I think I saw grass fly up on that 11 car's left side.
Yeah, he's down there in his own racetrack.
Now, speaking of Mark Martin, you know, he still has led the most laps here, 41. In fact, it's the most laps he's led all season. Right behind him, you got Denny Hamlin. Hamlin wants to try and get around him. Points are points. They're always so important.
How about fuel, Andy? You going to be able to make it?
It's going to be really, really close.
Hamlin running in the 6th spot. You see a couple of spots behind. There's Jimmy Johnson. That's exactly the way he would like to keep it, but Jimmy's trying to get underneath Casey Kane, and he's going to do it. Kenseth comes down, may have broken up the air just enough. Here comes Kane back on the high side.
Oh, Casey Kane with a big run.
Going to go 3 wide, hold on to it. Casey wiggles, and here comes Jimmy down low. He's going to get both of them. Casey's going to try back on the high side. Kenseth's going to stay with him, but I don't think it's going to work. And now all of a sudden Denny's going to look in his rear mirror, and he's going to see the 48 coming up on him along with Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, Harvick rebounding from that pit road speeding penalty he had earlier under the green flag.
Here comes Mark Martin, 3 wide.
We've had 10 speeding penalties today, and you're right, there it is. Newman again trying to come up the middle. That's Montoya on the high side. You saw behind him, Denny goes all the way down, 4 wheels below the line.
Oh, Montoya sideways.
Another killer save. Very good save.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yep. That's unanimous up here. 37 laps to go. You're on board with Hamlin. Get a great idea just how rough this track is. They fly down that backstretch well over 200 miles an hour when you go into the corner side by side. Here comes Newman again underneath the 42 of Juan Pablo Montoya. That is for 4th. Hamlin has got Jimmy Johnson on his right side now behind him, and he's trying to get underneath Montoya. Here comes Harvick into the mix.
Yeah, and they're trying to hang Denny Hamlin down there. They've got this draft going. You can see Jimmy Johnson with ease goes by.
You can see just how much air these cars move when they go by that camera. It just makes that camera shake.
Hamlin's hugging the bottom of the racetrack. On board with Harvick.
Yeah, Hamlin's able to clear Jimmy Johnson down there. Made that work. Here comes Johnson with a run back to the inside. Harvick trying to decide where to go. He's going to go 3 wide.
Down into turn number 3, and they are going to go to it. Here comes Harvick. Jimmy thinks better. It looks like he got a little loose.
Yeah, he thought better of it because he didn't have any choice but to get out of the throttle for a second.
Allows Casey Kane to get back up on this group. This group keeps getting a little bit larger every time we go by here. You saw Johnson sort of nudge down on the 29.
Yeah, a lot of side drafting going on there.
But Jimmy goes up high. Casey follows him. It's Hamlin and Harvick down low. Still got a lot of cars side by side, even well deep into the field. Here at the Pepsi Max 400 at California, there is your top 5 with 35 laps to go. Does Tony Stewart finally get his first win here at Auto Club Speedway? Stay with us to find out.